update. Um, Yesterday I actually was thinking about um on my second channel that I'm working on. When it's gonna pop up, it's gonna pop up in its due season. I was thinking about maybe outlining like my health progress, and in terms of our bodies being a temple and taking good care of it and things like that. And dreams and everything else is a very, very powerful, very, very powerful way and very, very powerful tool of tapping into what's important, especially if you're in a season in your life where you're asking for XYZ, and you're trying to better yourself, which through prayer, prayer, like I've said in my channel before, prayer is something that I really never really understood why as humans we have to do it. And really, I think of recent top of this year, I've really studied more, and I've been going to God more about it, and I've been really asking, what is prayer? What does prayer really mean? What is the power of prayer? What is the power of prayer? Need some water. What is the power of prayer really about? What is the power of prayer really about? And through personal revelation, it was revealed to me, and I actually discovered that prayer is in a non-religious or non-intimate way with God, more secular version of a prayer. Prayer can be also seen as a manifestation tool, which I was never aware of. When I manifest and have manifested in the past, to be completely transparent and honest with you all, um, I've never directly or even indirectly, I think, prayed when I've manifested things in the past. I give it to God. I release it. I let it go. But I didn't have any particular practice, I would say, where I would, carve out time in the morning or carve out time at night and specifically, pray, whether with worship music or, my Bible, whatever. I've never really been that kind of person, to be honest, and, just be honest. So, you know, in a secular way and in a non religious spin way, people can still manifest without doing those things. But if you have a, as they say, a relationship with the divine creator, God, and you're tapped into that, prayer does seem to be a natural leaf like on a tree or a fruit that is associated to that. So with that relationship, prayer kind of makes more sense to me now that I'm understanding more what prayer is. So what brought me to share this, and I felt like, and I was actually told to share this, was I, was not planning to have a nap a little bit earlier, and I ended up having a nap, and I had a really, really vivid dream, and called up my mom, and I told her about it, because it was in relation to her and what she had to do and all this different stuff, really, 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 really deep. And then in through talking to her, somehow, some way, the conversation segued into how with spiritual warfare, and how with the principalities and dark forces and different things happening on this planet, how um you could say the word devil. I know the word devil, the word Satan, and the pitchfork with the devil horns in that way is very, very kind of comical. I know as adults that we are, it's hard to take it seriously, right? But the gist of it is that I'll use for lack of a better term, the devil, Satan, Saturn, Satan, will use different tactics to get to us. And it's just the reality. It's a bit dark in here, I know. Let me just put this on. That's the reality, guys, okay? Satan uses different tactics to get to us, and he gets to us through our loved ones. He gets to us through things that we think we love or that we did love, and he attacks us. He attacks us through things that we can things we enjoy, people we love, things we love. And he twists and he perverts it. He twists it on its head. to to get us, guys, because the so-called devil, just for lack of a better term, the devil is very, 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 very tricky. He's a very cunning spirit, and he has a lot of tactics that he uses to get to us. And so one thing led to another, and through that conversation, I was I was asking her, is it like a form of deliverance, or what do you think it is? Because I'm like, I've never had this feeling. I've through my life, and I think I've documented this on my channel. I've documented, I think it was like at least a 7 day. I don't think it was 12 day. I think it was a 7 day fruit and veg cleanse slash uh um cleanse. It was a cleanse, and I documented that. That's still on my channel on the playlist. And I shared how I lost, I think 7.14, or it was above 7 pounds. I lost above 7 pounds in a week, no cap. And that was legit. I stuck to it. And but off camera in my life growing up by choice, nobody told me, this is just my own conviction, my own choice. I've done bouts of that. I've done bouts of that where I've, done this, done that. I don't believe in diets. I hate the word diet. So if you think I'm talking about a diet, I'm not. I'm talking about a lifestyle. I'm talking about a conviction, because I call it a conviction, because this is your temple, this is your body, this is the body that God gave you for this lifetime, for this, earthly experience for now. So you have to take care of it, and it's not about an obsession with vanity or getting into bikini. To keep it all the way real, it's literally about your spirit, and how you feel, and what it represents. It's a lot deeper than just how you look. Okay. So from that to that to that, I'm bringing that all to say, from this conversation literally tonight, I was literally, as I was talking to her, I felt convicted, which I've never had, especially with another person and intertwining it. I've never had that kind of conviction. And all of a sudden, I was beginning to talk to her about different principalities over different companies and as you guys know, with franchises, not just franchises, but there's let's say for example, a McDonald's or Chick-fil-A, just putting this out here, not affiliated, not associated, no, not endorsed. I'm just giving you guys an example. Let's just put this as this. Especially Chick-fil-A, as you guys know, it's a franchise, but guess what? They have something called standalone or stand out, or there's a phrase where there's different owners, so they're not, it's not like it's just one company and they've just planted, right? There's a thing called people having these restaurants or whatever, but they're standalones. They're different people own them, so sometimes there's different prices, slightly different prices. Wingstop is another one of those, where Wingstop, which is a known thing, where there'll be wing stops, but different restaurants will have different prices because they're standalones. They have different owners over these different restaurants, which means different principality, different spirit, different ethics, different morals, different code of conduct in terms of, well, not code of conduct, I should say culture, different culture, the way that they treat their employees. It's all, a chain of command kind of thing. And so I was talking to her. It was totally a little bit off topic. It was totally off topic. Yes, it was. I was talking to her tonight, and I was like, you know, I was just going into different topics, and she was just listening to me, and she was like, "Wow," and I was like, "Yeah, wow." Like, I've had different epiphanies as I was growing up, but I just feel like tonight, from different decisions and things I've been making, in my own life, it's like a full circle moment. And in that moment, it's like all my desire, any kind of craving, excuse me, any kind of craving, any kind of desire um to eat meat was completely gone. It's almost like if somebody put a piece of Popeye's chicken right in front of me, I would be completely repelled. I'd be completely disgusted. Like, I cannot eat that. And I was asking her, like, is this like a form of deliverance? Because there's a certain kind of anointing for me not to, like, even consider. And I don't even eat that to begin with, really. I normally go for beef if it is meat, because I'm not really a big chicken fan in that way anyway. Like it's rare that I actually enjoy chicken. It's kind of rare actually. So I was like, because there's an aftertaste to that since the pandemic is it tastes off to me. It doesn't taste right, and I tend to spit it back out. Like literally, I tend to spit it back out. I'm like, it doesn't. It just tastes off. Just tastes weird. And I was beginning to explain to her that it's like carnage, you know. And I was sharing with her like how back in high school, there was a random conversation I had with a lady one day, and I remember saying to her that we're life, and life must conjoin, must coexist. And how can we be of life and we're eating death? How can we be of life and we're eating death? Which means the byproduct from that animal that's now dead, is carnage. It's basically carnage on a platter, and it's cooked. It's cooked dead animal product. That's what it is. And the lady was saying to me, she same kind of thing. She wide-eyed, and she was like, you're so right. You're so right. If we're of life, why are we eating death? Why are we eating something that we know causes cancer? We know causes sickness. We know causes inflammation. We know is not designed for our body or blood type, et cetera, in certain proportions or in general. And the way that these animal products are delinquished to give us meat is beyond shameful. Of course, there's private farms, not organic per se, but there's different farms and different single farmers and stuff like that, where they take the life of the animal in a different way that's more humane. But in general, the way that they do it is mass consumption. They push them in. I've seen documentaries about it from when I was a teenager. And the way that they take the life of these animals is disgusting, to put it lightly. And so I was and this has been years. This has been like a journey, and I was bringing it up to her over the phone, and I was just like, you know, we're not designed that way. We're just not designed. Um, how can God want? I mean, in the Bible, and if we're gonna get specific, in the Bible, He did give us dominion, right? He gave us dominion over the land, the sea. It says in Genesis that I read it actually last week. He gave us dominion, but it doesn't mean that it's an actual instruction. It's not an actual instruction to consume all these different food groups and expect to be healthy and expect to be prosperous, expect to be um, in alignment. It doesn't mean that. He gave us dominion, but it doesn't mean that we should indulge. Doesn't mean we should overindulge. Does not mean that we should allow ourselves to be tempted into corruption. So it's two different things. You can still have dominion, and the Bible says we have dominion. We have dominion over these animals. We do. But it doesn't mean that we now need to eat them and that we need to consume them in a way that is toxic to our bodies, to our temple. So in that conversation, one thing is like led to another. And of course I can even connect the dots to personal friends in my life that the past couple of months have just out of nowhere, been making these big changes. And you know I have my own mind, my own opinion. So I don't follow. I lead in my own life, and I have to be convicted. I have to have my own walk. And people do different things. They get surgery, or they go, you know, you know, you get what I'm trying to say, right? People do different things to try to solve something. So that wasn't, but I just find it funny how even in my friend circle, not all my friends, but some of my close friends, how all of a sudden, just the top of the year, we've all been having these metamorphoses. And I really did take it as kind of like a foreshadowing. I'm not gonna lie, because I was hearing these certain conversations. I'm like, I wonder if God's gonna, go to me next, because yeah, well, this friend's doing this and this, but we're all doing something different, but because it's our own conviction. But it just was just amusing to me. And then tonight, I made a lot of, well, let's just say in plain terms, cleaned out my kitchen yesterday, did a lot of different things. And it really felt like, you know, one of the pastors that I personally am inspired by, and this is one of the best sermons I've ever heard. And he was like, you just have to decide, you have to decide. You can't, if you're just bopping in the water, you're not going to get much done. You have to make a decision. You have to decide. You have to be firmly planted. You have to make a choice. And so yesterday, besides the dream, besides all of this, tonight, yesterday, I made certain choices to myself. Like, you know what? Yep, that, and that's what it's gonna be, and that's how it's gonna be. And then funny enough, tonight it's like a full circle, and it's like, you know what? Yeah, I literally feel like I'm not allowed to eat that. I I literally feel convicted, like I am not allowed to eat that. I'm not allowed. There's been a switch in my body. There's been a shift. There's been a conviction of like, you cannot eat that. And if you eat that, this is what's going to happen. And so if you want to keep going down that path and you want to keep eating that, or you want to keep tasting it, or every now and then you want to keep eating that, well, guess what? There's going to be consequences. You could have a shorter lifespan, right? You could feel more sluggish, and the world is in heavy warfare, especially in America. There is a lot of heavy warfare going on. And so this is really not the time to be easily persuaded. This is not the time to be having your temple, your body, all sorts of messed up. This is not the time for that. You got to be a clear channel for God. You got to be a clear channel for your family and your loved ones. And you gotta have a clear signal, a clear signal. And so just from that, obedience in that conversation, I was completely convicted. And I don't know, I know the word convicted doesn't sound nice because it's not meant to be nice. But literally, after I finished talking to her on the phone, it was like, I literally felt a conviction of like, this is not what you need to be doing right now. And if you are out or you're tempted or whatever, you cannot. You cannot. So that doesn't include, it doesn't include, the like, let's say, for example, there's cheese on a pasta. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to eat all, I'm not even a big cheese eater to begin with. It doesn't mean that I'm going to chuck the whole plate out. I may scrape it off, but what it basically is saying is in terms of the meat, which means like chicken breast, like the actual meat, like a full, fillet or things like that. I cannot eat it. And I can't tell you, but how it got to this point, because as you see in my journey, like there's been, high points, there's been times where I've, walked in that calling, but that is exactly why I said to my mother, I said to her, is this some kind of deliverance? Is this a different form of deliverance? Because it's like if someone put that in front of me, I would not even want to reach for it. Whereas if we're being honest, most people would take a bite of that chicken sandwich and say, give it over here, bring it to me. Come on, put the hot sauce on it, put barbecue. It's almost like if someone put it in front of me, there'd be no desire. It's almost like you just know in your body, you're not supposed to have that. You're not supposed to have that. Don't touch it. Like, there's no reason for it. Don't even go near it. Just don't even touch it. That's what happened to me tonight. And it's something like planted in me that's like, this is the way, and that's not the way, and this is the way. And if you keep doing that way, the wages of sin is death. It's very clear, it's crystal clear. And if you keep doing that, you're going to be in trouble, and it's not going to be pretty. And so that's what it came down to, is like, this is wrong, this is right. And you've made a choice from yesterday. I've made a choice in an even bigger way. And I can't back out if I wanted to. It's like, it's almost like a form of deliverance to me, because when you get delivered from something, let's say, for example, someone's addicted to cigarettes or they're addicted to whatever, and they have a personal encounter or whatever the case may be, and all of a sudden, cold turkey, they just never have another cigarette again. That's deliverance. because there was something that had a hold on you that you didn't want it to have a hold of you, but there was some kind of hold. And one day, one night, one evening, you said, that's it. I have no desire for it. I'm never touching it again. If I can help it, like, I'm not indulging. I'm not even trying to entertain it. You know what I'm saying? And that's extreme. Yes, I'll agree with you all. That's extreme. That's an extreme conviction. And in that moment, from that conversation, it was like the puzzle pieces aligned, and something in my body said to me, "No, that's it. You can't. You can't. You can't. You can't. You just can't." So, from last week, I began to make the change. I've I've downloaded some health shops and smoothie shops that I've back in high school I used to be very, very close with, and then somehow, life takes a toll and things happen and you lose your way. And I re-downloaded those apps, and instead of, let's say for example, I can go any fast food joint. Instead, I made a customized smoothie with King Smoothie, on my phone. And now that's my new app. It's like if I'm on a run, I'm no longer going to go to any of these other places. Now I'm going to go to strictly health joints, and I have to figure it out. And I may not enjoy it, I may not really like it, but I know that it's good for me and it feels good for me, and my metabolism's up, and my metabolic rate is right, and my body feels right. I may not enjoy it. I'll be honest with you, I may not enjoy it, but at the end of the day, I know that it's what's best for me. I know it's what's best for me, and I have to follow that. I have to obey that. I have to honor my temple. And so that was the start of it from last week, and that's besides everything else going on. That was just like an intuitive nudge. Is like, well, how about you download this? You have these apps. Why don't you download these apps? And we can work something out. And you're gonna have to customize. If you don't like what they have in the menu, well, you can customize it. For same price, if not less. And this is your new track now. That was last week, and so that seed was planted. You see, that change of mentality. That seed was planted in me, that this is the way. This is your new way of living. And you have to honor your body. You have to honor what you feel. If you feel convicted and you know that this is right for you and that's wrong for you, how dare you go out the bounds of that? How dare you go outside the bounds when God has told you and you got your own confirmation to not do this and you're doing it? How dare you? How dare you? How dare the God of all gods come and tell you this is how you get healthy. This is how you get more energy. We're in a heavy spiritual warfare season. This is how you get more prosperity. This is how you protect your loved ones. This is how you come through and you conquer, you get the victory. And then how dare you turn back and say, "No, I'm going to forget all that. I'm going to go back and have a chicken sandwich. I'm going to go back and have whatever, someone wants to eat." No, that's ludicrous. That's absolute insanity. You'd be insane if the divine creator is divinely inspiring you on what to do and you disobey that. That's insane. So I was telling my mother, like, even if I wanted to, I can't, because something has shifted in me. I don't know. I don't know what other way to put it. It's like something has literally shifted in me. Like, this is not what you are allowed to do. You're not even allowed. You're not even allowed. You're not even allowed. You have to make another way. You have to find an alternative, because this is not the way. So yes, I would love to document this to help other people to shine a light on this. I would love to do that. I don't know what channel. I don't know what format. I'm sure God will tell me. I don't know yet. But this has been pressing on my heart, and I'm going back to basics, y'all. I'm going back to things I used to do in high school. I was in fact, before my spiritual journey kicked off age 21, met my TF and all that came with it. You know what I was doing? I was walking to the gym. And you heard that right. I was walking to the gym. I had my own car. I always had my own car from the age of 16. I was 20, 21 at the time. And you know what I was doing? I was walking to the gym. I was so inspired. I wasn't just I wasn't, of course, every now and then I would drive, but no, actually, no. For that period of my life, um, actually, I don't think it was 2021. I think it was actually earlier. I think it was 18, 19, 20. Correction, yeah. No, because when I lived in this other city and I was doing that, I wasn't 21 just yet. It was a crescendo to that point, but I know I wasn't 20. I was actually younger than that. And I would I was so inspired, I was so pumped up. I would literally walk to the gym. I had a trainer. I had a temporary trainer at the time. Yes, guys, this is all real life. I invested my own money, and I had a temporary trainer at that same gym that I used to walk to, and it wasn't no small walk. It was a walk. And I was so inspired. I was in the best shape of my life. I was, and not just shape, energy wise. I hate the word shape. I would say, well, shape is a given, but vitality. Yeah, just overall health. I think I was so motivated. I would walk to the gym, literally had a temporary trainer, would train, which I would throw up from, of course, because it's a trainer. My ass was getting beaten. I mean, it wasn't easy, guy. This is real life, you know? And I look and of late I've been looking back on that, and it's like God, it's like the Holy Spirit has been inspiring me and saying to me, go back to doing what you used to do. Go back to what works, you know? I had the keys, you know? And life and corporate America and consumerism and all this stuff, it gets to you and it distracts you, just like how it's intended to, you know? And how dare it get me off my path? And how dare I allow it to get me off my path, right? Like, it's like, how dare you? How I had the keys, like, how dare you? How dare life let me, but that's what happens, guys. It's life. But anyway, real shit. I would walk to the, and I had a car. I had a fully functioning car. My car was paid off. I had a car. My car was paid off. I had no reason to walk. I had no reason to walk, but I'd walk. I'd walk to the gym. I'd have sessions with my trainer. Sometimes I would be throwing up bad. I mean, when I say, I mean, like hurling in the bathroom toilet, like disgusting. It was, listen, it was brutal, okay? She'd give me homework, she'd give me my meal plan, whatever. You know, not anything, and just to be specific, meal plan, not anything that I couldn't find myself. You know what I'm saying? It's all health food. So she wouldn't tell me things that I would not be eating that I could eat myself. So of course I've taken inspiration from those times. Of course I paid for it. You know what I'm saying? I paid for it. And so I work out with her, you know, her homework was me to work out more, which I would do sometimes after sessions. I would train with her. Then she would say, you need to do this on this. And I would be still throwing up. And I'm not, this is no cap, y'all. This is real life. And hurling. And of course the homework was to be more destroyed, you know, fleshly destroyed, which means beating your flesh into submission, which means working out. You know what I'm saying? And that's ties in spiritually. Now I'm talking to you guys some more clarity, it's like, oh, it does tie in spiritually. Of course, you know, think about what I'm gonna eat, plan what I'm gonna eat, blah blah blah, and then walk back home. I know it's insane, right? I know. So most people, they drive to the gym, right? Or if they don't have a car, they use a bus or train. No. I was walking to the gym. I had a car. My car's paid off. So that's how motivated I was. I was so motivated. I was so driven that I would walk to the gym, work out with a trainer, work out by myself, then walk back home. That was insane. But I was in one of the best shapes of my life. And that led up to me kicking off my spiritual journey and my awakening, 21, and of course, everything that period happened to me. You guys know the TF, all that stuff. And, but I hate the word skinny because I don't want to be skinny. I want to be fit. I want to be fit. So I don't like that word. But you know, for lack of a better term, I was fit thin. Fit thin. Fit thin. And I put a lot of effort, you know what I'm saying? But my eating was incredible. I was having, you know, I was having protein, and I was doing smoothies was a big part of it, guys. Smoothies has always been a big part of health for me. 'Cause I'm not really big on soups. I'm not really big on things like that. I'm big on, I love salads. I'm big on salad. I'm big on smoothies, but I'm not really much of a soup person. You know, when some people, when they're healthy, they just have soups and bread and sourdough and all. I'm not a soup. I know soup is really good for you, and there's so many soups you can have, but I'm not a soup kind of person. So I prefer cold. When I'm in that mode, I do prefer cold food, and or cold and hot, not just hot. I do prefer, like, let's say, for example, like a tomato soup with a little bit of bread and then a salad. When I was doing the cleanse, I was doing that a lot. I would have, like, for lunch or dinner, like the tomato soup with the salad. I would do that a lot, and I would alternate. So, of recent, I've kind of like those memories have kind of flooded back into my mind. Like, you have more now. You could do more now, and you didn't even have as much you had back then, but you were better. To be frank, I was better, and I was doing things better, and I had better results, because I was so not just convicted, I was so motivated. I was so motivated that the idea of walking to the gym, busting my ass, walking back home, and not being able to have sweets, not being able to have, crappy things, and still eat clean was like nothing. And then on top of that, at the time, the place I was living at, we had a clubhouse gym with a pool, and that clubhouse gym was incredible. I'm being honest, this is all real, guys. And I would go, and not just my own gym, gym I paid for, then I had the clubhouse gym. And the clubhouse gym would have certain machines. Oh, there it goes. And then the clubhouse gym would have certain machines that I was in love with. I don't even know the name, but it's that machine where, not even machine, I think it's a machine, but not a machine like a elliptical or like a treadmill. It's like a stationary machine, and you hold your hands at the top and you lift your body from the bottom. I don't know what the hell it's called, and I still don't know what it's called, but I would go on it all the time. And I loved it because my whole lower body, especially my chest and my stomach area, was contracting. Feel the muscles contracting, and I really saw results. I mean, and quick. I mean, probably quicker than my fasting, because combine the fasting with that, and then I was in tennis. So I was like, I was going for it, man. So I miss those days. I miss those days. And now that I'm in my 20s and soon to be my 30s at some point, because we're all going to get in our 30s at some point, I'm looking back on that and I'm like, man, I got to get back to that. I can't let that go. Like, I felt so alive, and that was before YouTube. So can you imagine if I had YouTube, I would be able to document all that. But I wasn't in the hyperspace like that at the time. I wasn't, I was like 18, 19, 20. It wasn't really that kind of thing. I think Snapchat wasn't even developed at that point. So that just shows you, like, how early on, all this social media stuff was. It wasn't, I don't think it was really popping. Instagram was popping, Facebook was popping back then, but I don't think I think Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram were like the only platforms back then when I was on that kick. That health kick was available. But I you know it wasn't like now how I'm talking to you guys now, and I could just tell you in real time. Back then, there was nothing going on. There was no camera. There was nothing going on. Just me, myself, and I going for it. And of course, as I inched into 22, 23, 24, there'd be times I'd be looking back like, who the hell was that? How the hell did I do that? Why the hell I had, and I had my own car? What would possess you to walk past all these shops, walk past these huge buildings, suburbia area, to a gym when you have a car? Like what would make you do that? Determination, guys. Determination make you do a lot of things. Determination and hard work will make you do a lot of things. And I was determined. I was like, this is what I got to do. This is the path. This is it. And oh boy, did I get results. And so, obviously, naturally, when I, moved in, college came in review, down the drain, not all the way, but to me, it was like, that was squashed because it wasn't the same location. It wasn't the same gym that I had access to. And I had to, once again, I had to adapt. So now that I'm, more established in my 20s and, getting ready for my 30s at some point, I'm like, I'm not trying to let go of that. I'm not trying to let go of any of that. Like, and I wasn't sexually active. I'm just going to put this out here. I wasn't sexually active at those ages. Um, so, people, I'm just putting this out here, some people, they do that because they have a boyfriend or because, that they're doing all, they're fluid and all this. No, at those ages when I was working even harder on my body, I was not sexually active. Just putting this, I was not sexually active. I was actually still a virgin, quote unquote. So that was not the motivation. Just for anybody, wondering, that wasn't the motivation. The motivation was literally, um, I was just in different extracurricular, tennis and things like that, and I just really felt inspired. I felt so good in my body and how I felt, how alive I felt. I said, I just got to keep doing it, and that wasn't just a one-off. This was consistent. I was walking the gym. Then eventually, of course, I invested my money, got a temporary trainer, and it kicked my ass, man. It kicked my ass. I mean, I threw up. I threw up in a lot of first sessions I had with that lady, and it was awful. It was awful. And imagine, I was eating very healthy and I was still throwing up because my body was just not used to just all this movement. I don't think it was used. I mean, I did tennis, so it should have been, but at the time it felt like it wasn't. My body just was just getting like a punch to the gut, like boom. It was just like, like a head-on collision. It was intense. That's the word. It was intense. It was intense. So, so with that said, I want to say to you guys, don't let go of the lessons and the life experiences and the knowledge you have. No matter what age you are, um, don't turn your back on what works. You ever heard the phrase, if it's broke, don't fix it. Or if it works, and not, sorry, if it works, don't try to fix it. Like, if something works for you, you don't need to do a whole lot, you know? Just get focused, be intentional, and think about things you used to do that do work. What actually works for you? What actually makes sense? And so for me, there's been certain things that even now I still do, but walking to the gym, well, the gym I would be going to now is too far for that. But back then, it was still far, but it wasn't that far. For me to do that now, it would have to be a lower level gym that doesn't have what I want, and that wouldn't work out because most gyms I pay into have classes, so that wouldn't work out. That come with it, you know what I'm saying? And that gym that back then that I was paying for, that I used to walk to, had classes too, and damn good classes. They had cycling class. Oh my God, those classes were amazing. I would do cycle every now and then. It kicked my ass, man. I can't understate that. It would kick my ass. I would be in pain. I'd be sweating like a horse. Oh, it was a lot. It was a lot. So now, obviously that I'm older and God is really just convicting me and showing me, the clear path forward, and saying, this is the way. And if you want the way, here's the way. Here's a treasure trove right over here. And if you don't want to do it, it's going to be at your own peril. But guess what? I've given you the tools. You've given yourself the tools, I should say. You've done the work. You've done the research. You've changed different habits. And now what are you going to do about it? How are you going to pull through to the other side, of that light of the tunnel? How are you going to get through that dark abyss and get back to what you love and get back to what your body and what your mind, body, soul, and spirit can do and should feel like, and you have to lean into that. It's hard, guys. Trust me, I'm not underestimating how hard this is. It's very hard. It's very hard. But it's doable. and you can do it, and I can do it. And so, with that said, I think I'm gonna pop into Walmart and get this plastic wrap I need. I'm trying to find some watermelon. I haven't been successful of late. I need to. The only other shop that I know that I can get the watermelon at is like 20 minutes out, and it's closed. It's already past 10. I'm not going there, but I probably will pop into Walmart, and if they have a watermelon or something like that, I'll just grab it off the shelf. But this is not just. And this is why I don't use the word diet. I hate the word diet. You know, whenever I have people close to family say that word diet, I always shut them down. I'm not being mean, but I always say to them, diets don't work. Diets will never work. It's a lifestyle. It's a spiritual path that if you're serious enough will open onto you if you're willing and ready, and when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. So if you struggle with recipes, if you struggle with workout plan, if you struggle with this shit, there is information even for free out there. You know, there's a lot of information out here that you can easily access. So if you don't want to go to a physical gym, or you don't want to, you don't have the funds to get a nutritionist or whatever the case may be, there's so much resources out here for free that you can tap into that costs nothing. You know what I'm saying? That costs literally nothing, that will propel you into your success. And so I'm gonna use that. I'm speaking for myself. I'm gonna go back to that. And I've been going back to that. I'm gonna really take it under my wing, because I see the future, and I see what I want for myself, and I see what's coming, and I'm like, I got to get ready. I got to get ready, and I got to go back to what works. And don't be ashamed, guys, even if something that works for you that you did, like I said, in high school. I'm referring back to high school. I'm referring back to, you know, what do you call it now? I forgot. What is it? Junior, or like the first year of college. I'm referring back to that, and that's like at least 4 years back. You know what I'm saying? But I'm referring to it because guess what? It worked. It worked, and nothing to do with age. It was what I was doing. You know what I'm saying? For my health, it was working. It was working. So now I'm like, screw all that. Screw trying to do something completely different. Go back to what works. You know, don't make it harder than it, don't make life harder than it has to be. Life is very simple if you're organized and if you're intentional. You know, life is only confusing when you don't have a structure, you don't have a routine, and you're all over the place. But once you implement certain things, you should be fine. You know, it's not, like I said, it's not gonna be easy, but you should be fine. So that's what I've been meditating on. That's what I've been doing, guys. It's like, I'm going back to what actually works. I'm not trying to make no new plan and then mess that up and then fall into temptation. No, I know what works. I know what my body responds to. My body responds to a raw diet. And if it's not raw, completely raw, then it's soups and smoothies and pastas and salads that taste just as good as anything else and fills me up early and quickly. And especially for weight loss, it's instant. I've lost 7 pounds in a week. So I know it works, but if you're watching me and you're saying, well, I don't have any, quirks, and I don't have any things I did, well, then you're gonna have to start. If you don't have anything to reference to from an earlier time in your life, or you don't have any kind of like routine, you don't have any kind of recipe, you don't know what your body responds to, then you're gonna have to get going from now, because it does take a while. It takes a while for you to figure out what your body accepts and what your body rejects, because there could be certain fruits and vegetables and proteins and all this type of stuff that your body does not like, or you could even be allergic to. Let's put this out here. Just like how some people are allergic to nuts and they can't have anything that has nuts in it. Same thing. Not on an allergy basis, but same thing. There is some people that don't know that their body does not decompose and break down certain vegetables or certain things than like other things, but they would never know because they haven't started. So if you haven't begun to research yourself, know thyself, and investigate, what does your body respond to? If you have this watermelon versus banana, and this watermelon gives you more vitality, more energy, quicker weight loss, but the banana is making you bloat, or the banana is causing you to get more fatty carbs and not go towards protein, not go towards fruit and veg, and you know that your body doesn't like it, you don't even like the taste of it, then don't eat it. But you have to try. Your body has to get used to it, right? Your body has to get used to it. You can't just you would never know. If you don't try, you would never know. So So if you don't have anything to reference back to, then that's even harder, because then you really don't know what you're doing. You really don't know what to do. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I encourage you guys, if you're watching for weight loss, if that's what you're watching for, and great, and congratulations to you, and just to be healthier, because it's all about the health, right? Not the vanity. Vanity is a bonus. It's really about how you feel inside in your body. Then you would know, then you would know that that is the way. You have to begin the act of doing, not just researching on a computer, not just scrolling on your iPhone, not just watching TikToks, which are going to ban soon. You have to be putting it practical. That's why it's so hard, because when you have a hard day at work or whatever else is going, and I'm not trying to be funny. Do you guys see that? Do you guys see the lines alongside my cheek area? And you see, when I would eat less healthier food, I would have this more of a bigger chin. This is honest, guys. But you see how now there's definition, there's definition, and the healthier things. And I have a skincare routine as well, just so you guys know. I'm very big on skincare. Um, and I've always got compliments on my skin, and they think it's just washing your face with soap. No, it's a routine. So like anything else, you have to find what works for you. Trial and error, the right skincare products, the right food products, the right routine, the right exercises, the right recovery, because recovery is a big thing. How do you recover? Do you do cold showers? Do you do body therapy? Do you do massage? Do you have a massage chair at home? Do you have a hot pad at home? Do you do a steam bath? Do you do bubble? I mean, these are, it's so much that goes into it. And that's why it's so hard for so many people, because why? Their life or their job, especially if you're in corporate, will push you down the wrong path naturally, because it's not designed for you. Certain things that we do, if certain schedule, time schedule, whatever, um, is not designed for us, guys. It's not designed for us to succeed. And so, but you have to put yourself as a priority. If you work a tough job, or you work a job that is, just daunting on your mental health and your body and your physical health, you have to make choices, and you have to find a way, because I've been there, done that. That's a whole other 20 minutes we're going to get into. I was actually hoping to end this video at 10 minutes, but of course, with the well knowledge I have, we're almost at an hour, and I don't regret that, because it's necessary. But I'm just saying to you guys, I'm just telling you guys, like, this is the process. If you're watching me and you have a lot of weight to lose, or you have health issues, this is a long process. And especially if you're saying, Simone, I drink and I smoke and I do this, well, and then your body is gonna be in for a treat, my friend, because your body's gonna have to get rid of all that bacteria, all that toxic, all that sludge. Your body's going to have to get rid of all that. And you're the one that has to do it. If you get a trainer, if you watch YouTube, workout videos, don't matter. You're the one at the end of the day that's going to be feeling all the beans to your body, and all the changes to your body, and all the mood swings, and all the throw up, and all the bodily changes. It's you that's going through that. So that's not easy. That's why a lot of people don't do it. That's why a lot of people don't have um structure with their food and their body. They could be skinny, but they're unhealthy, because they're in drugs and they eat fried food every day. I mean, you're not gonna have, naturally, you know what I'm saying? They're not gonna have the same quality of life as somebody, or even the sleep. The sleep. Oh my God. I don't have time to get into that, but I'll touch on it real quick. I this was, yeah, early years of college, when I was disciplined, because that's the word. And I would do salmon with vegetables and stuff like that. And then I, alternate between just fruit and veg. Man, my sleep was incredible, man. My sleep was insanely good. So I'm telling you from experience that even if you're skinny, or even if you're thin or whatever, but you're not eating how you really should eat, your body's gonna feel a difference. And even if you still your period, your menstrual cycle, your body's gonna feel all of that. You know what I'm saying? So then you start to get healthy, you start to make healthier choices. Your body's gonna thank you for that. Your body's gonna because I wasn't, I wasn't as curvy. I was fitting into thing. I mean, I still have some dresses in my closet that I used to wear back then. I'm like, bruh, and they still fit, but I'm like, damn, I was I was a lot smaller. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, wow. But that's because I was so dedicated. So anyway, it's a journey. It's a choice. It's a conviction. Me personally, I've been convicted. It's not my own doing. I'll put it that way. Because if it was my own doing, I wouldn't take it that serious. I wouldn't take it that serious. I'd be like, you know what? Okay. But because I've been convicted, I've been transformed. I've been made aware of certain things. I'm like, well, this is the way. And I have to be trusting of that way, and I have to obey it for my good, and I have to take it on for my good, and I can't hide from that fact. I have to face the music, and I have to honor myself. I have to honor how I feel, So that's just the gist of it. But anyway, you all, I love you guys. I know a lot of you got a lot from this video. And so wherever you're at on your path, I really hope that you're able to honor yourself, honor how you feel. And I'm gonna have to head to Walmart before they close. If this video has inspired you in any way to help anybody, maybe it's not you, but to help somebody else, or to help somebody else in your family, share the video, whatever, and take the good tidbits I've shared with you, because you know what? Health is wealth. Health is everything. Health is everything. And without it, we perish. We perish, and we have a harder time in life. And so I'm just so grateful that God has sent me, good influences, and a lot of new friends I've made of from years ago, but just I would consider them new because it's not like past a decade yet. um we're on the same wavelength, man. And I knew that when I was hearing some of my friends talk similar, and these are just, inner conversations in my head. But when I was seeing what some of my friends are going through, with their own life, their own journeys, I was like, oh shit, I know I'm next. I know I'm next, because I felt the change coming. I felt it. And so I'm like, wow, this is it. And I'm excited. So yeah, from yesterday, I began to rearrange. I actually have a treadmill in my house I bought about 2 years back, and it's just sitting there, at this point. And I have all these taxi, I have all these stuff going on. I'm like, bruh, I paid for this, I paid for X, Y, and Z. I need to use it. It's not free. Like, I paid for this stuff, you know what I'm saying? So if you paid for something and you need to use it, you need to get the most out of it. So I was like, screw that. I have it in a spare room, but I'm like, maybe I'm gonna put it in my actual bedroom, because if it's right in front of my face, you can't really run from it, can you? I mean, and that may sound extreme to some people, but it's the truth. If you have like, I have weights, like if you have like your dumbbells, whatever, if you got stuff laying around you, you can't really escape it. If it's in your face, you can't really escape it. If you have a vision board, you have something you can look at, and you can look at every day to remind you, you can't escape it because it's in your face. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, guys, this has been a great chat with you all. I'm very, very excited. I'm really happy that I have the willpower once again to really honor myself. It's not been easy. I'm not gonna bullshit you guys. It's been hard, but I can do it. I can do it. You can do it. And it's just life. Life. There's hills and valleys, guys, and there's you know roads, of success. And if you put in the work, you will get there, no doubt about it. You have to believe that. You have to believe it. You can't be a sinister and say, well, I'm going to put in the work, but I'm not going to see anything. So what's the difference? No, you can't think like that. You have to say, I'm going to put in the work. You're going to have to declare it. I am going to see the difference. I am going to influence my loved ones in a positive way because of my example I'm setting. And I'm going to make changes. I'm going to make a change. And that's how you have to think. So no one's perfect. Of course, you're going to have, temptation. You're going to fall and you're going to make mistakes. But like, it's about getting back up. It's about getting back up and being true to yourself and honoring how you feel. So I'm making a lot of different sacrifices. I'm not going to add another hour to the video, but I'm making a lot of sacrifices, a lot of changes. And I'm like, shit, it's not easy, guys, but it is worth it. It is worth it. And as long as you know in your heart it's what you should be doing for yourself and for your loved ones, then whatever that means, whatever that may be, you got to do it. And you can't back down. You can't fall into the crowd, because the crowd and the way that, marketing with these restaurants and things are carrying on with, it's a world of trouble, man. I mean, it's a sea of just temptation, and it's bad. It's real bad. But you got to give yourself grace. You know what I'm saying? There's things called cheat days and whatever else. I'm trying to say, like, there's times of a break period. If you're on vacation, one day you want to have, but that's not every day. That's once in a blue moon. So things that I'm just putting myself for as an example, things that I would enjoy maybe every day, um, that's not gonna happen. It's gonna be every year, every couple of 6 months, every couple of 8 months. It's gonna completely transform, because now my mind has been renewed, and it's not gonna be like, it's not gonna be a part of my life, basically. To put it, it sounds dramatic because it is. It's like, to put it plain English, it's not going to be a part of my life. It's something that I'm going to be probably having every 6 months, not every weekend, not every day. So that is a lot. That's a lot of change. But I'm willing, because I know that it's the right thing to do. So when you get that own conviction, you have to honor it, whatever that is, whatever that may be. You have to honor it for yourself. And with God's help, most importantly, you will achieve it and you will get it done. So I'm excited, guys. I know I'm never going to get back to being 18 or being 21, even though I had a great time. I don't want those days back, because that's not realistic, but I do congratulate myself, and I do say, wow, you did a good job. You were living good. I mean, you did what you're supposed to do at those ages. And I think even now I'm reaping the benefits, because I was in tennis, I was in dance club, I was in color guard, I was in this, I was in that, dabbled in cheerleading. I mean, I was doing so many things. Literally, it was even at a point where I was doing tennis at my high school, and I was doing color guard at a next door high school, because it was all the same area, suburbia, all the same area. And I didn't have to do that. And then on top of that, I was in swimming classes, swimming club. And then I had a lot of friends who were in different, athletic teams. My family's very athletic. That's a whole other conversation. Yeah. But, I was in so many things. And so even if I haven't done it now, what I realized as I'm speaking to, I was like, I've reaped a lot of benefits from then to now, because that was the same body I have now. I was doing things then for now. And so, just like I'm saying, you do things for now, and you'll see and reap the benefits for later. That's how it works. You put in the hard work now, and you'll get the benefits later. So get started today. Get started today, guys. Do what you got to do. Like, do what you got to do, because even now, as I'm reminiscing, I'm like, the things I was doing for my body then, I have reaped now. Because I'm not being funny, but what if I never did all those things and I was obese? Because I wasn't active, and because I was, eating a lot of bad. I mean, I'm not being funny, but that's just the reality. If you're not doing things that benefit your body, then it's harming your body. It's harming your soul. It's harming your spirit. It's harming your essence, your aura. So I realized that, like, things that I've invested in from then, I reap the benefits of now. And so now I'm able to do things that maybe other people in my age group or whatever cannot do, because why? They were not active. They were not active. They didn't push the boundary. They didn't do anything to keep themselves healthy. And quite frankly, a lot of them are actually dead and gone, to put it blunt. There's some mutual people from high school I could think of right now that they're not even alive, because of choices they made. And some it's their fault, and some of it's not their fault. But I'm making a point. I'm saying, what you do then, what you always do in life, is going to reflect as you live your life. It's going to show up. That's deep right there. That's I don't know if anybody caught that's deep. And it's true. It's true, guys. I could think back to so many people right now that are not even alive, because of choices they made in high school or in college. Yes. So let's not kid ourselves. Let's not kid ourselves. Things we do today. I love this video. This is a good video. I'm so happy I made this video. Let's not kid ourselves, right? Things we do today will manifest and show tomorrow. That's a reality. The lack thereof, or the action thereof, it will show up. It will show up. So if you're financially responsible, guess what? When you're in your older age, it will reflect that. If you pick the right romantic partners, guess what? When you get older, it will reflect a happy family, a happy relationship. You treat your body right from now when you're younger, or your youngest, whatever age you are, if you're 40, 50, you treat your body good from now. You get older, 20 years out, 10 years out, it will show. So that within itself is motivation. Because what that shows to me is that, okay, well, the hard work, the sacrifice is not for nothing. That's down to naive, being young. But it's like, what we do now is going to show later. It's going to show up, and the seeds planted will bloom at some point. So don't give up. Don't think that the effort you put in then is not going to be good effort for now, because it's not true. It's simply not true. It is. It is good effort for now. It is good seeds planted now, for later. It all is interconnected. So I love you guys. I'm going to get off here now. I got to run to Walmart to get my plastic wrap. And if they have any watermelon and things like that, I'm going to try to get some watermelon. Or, I ran out of oranges. I ran out of oranges, I think. Actually, this morning I had the last one. Not orange, it was a tangerine, I think. It was a tangerine. So this is exciting, guys, and I'm so happy that I'm able to share it with you all. I'm very excited, and I hope that this good energy and what I'm saying really permeates somebody's mind, because and especially if you are obese, especially if you are obese or heavily overweight, or maybe you're not those things, but your health problems and different health issues and stuff like that, you're gonna thank yourself. You're gonna thank yourself that you made the choices now, because guess what? You're going to then therefore set a good example for your family and your friends and your community, even indirectly, you're going to be a good example for them, and you're going to inspire other people. Whenever I look up to certain people and I see that they're so healthy and they look so good, in their 50s and 60s, they look like they're like in their 20s, but they're like 50 and 60, which is obviously, could be down to cosmetic surgery and different things like that. Let's not kid ourselves. But the ones that actually are, all natural or a little bit all natural, but they've genuinely taken good care of themselves, and you could tell they don't have a dirty lifestyle, but they genuinely have taken care of themselves. It shows, guys. Whether it's just skincare or whatever, like, it does show. You know what I'm saying? Like, it does show. And so you can't deny that, whether somebody got surgery or not or whatever. I'm saying, regardless, if they keep it up, if they take care of themselves, it will show. It will show. And so when you are in your 70s or your 30s or, your 20s, if you're a teenager watching me, whatever the case may be, don't you want to look back and say, wow, I look good? Don't you want to look back and say, wow, I was able to, go scuba diving, and I was able to do this class, and I was able to do that triathlon. I was able to, if you have kids, raise my kids, because having kids is very active with your body, bending down, lifting. If you have pets, that, cleaning up after them, picking them up, playing with them. It's very, very active, So even with that, don't you want to look back and say, wow, I did a good job, like, I really gave it my all, and I had a good life, and I impacted well because I was willing to put in that work and sacrifice. Don't you want to say that? I want to say that. I want to look better. I want to look better and better every year. I want to look and feel, not just look, I want to feel the best I can at every decade of my life, besides vanity. Vanity is whatever, you could pay for that. I'm talking about health. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about how you feel, how you sleep, your quality of sleep. Because the better you treat yourself, the better quality of sleep you have. And so, if anybody knows that, I know that I've experimented with that since high school, and I know that for a fact. When your body is being treated well, you get amazing sleep. Your sleep is like heavenly, literally, like you're sleeping on a cloud, man. And that ain't no cap. So that's what I want, man. I wanna look back and say, man, I made some good decisions. I made some good choices. I made some good decisions, and now I'm reaping the benefits. That's what I want to say. So I hope this has inspired you. I know it has. Love you guys. Like, subscribe, share, whatever you want to do. Thumbsing up. I love when you guys thumbs up, because thumbsing up means you guys really, appreciate what I'm saying, and you really acknowledge the time I've taken to talk with you all. So definitely thumbs up if you watch this video and you've been inspired to make some positive changes in your life. I love you all. I'll see you in my next video. Bye. Bye, y'all.